Hello again, everyone. So now I want to talk about the box model in CSS with you. So we've given values such as width, height, border, margin, and padding to our boxes. So in this lesson, I want to talk to you about the box sizing feature, because while we are sizing our box, we didn't take into account values such as padding, margin, border. So that's why I want to come back here and do it now. So when we create a box and give it a width and height of 150 pixels, we create a 150 by 150 box. But when we add values like padding to our box, CSS adds these values to the box. So initially, 150 pixels wide reaches and becomes a larger size with the added values. So CSS offers us box sizing to prevent this situation. Now, if you don't want different features such as padding and margin to affect the box size, that's when you use the box sizing feature. So let's have a look and see how we use it and what changes that we can make when we practice. All right, so as always, I'm going to create HTML and CSS files. Specify title as box sizing and link the two files together with a link tag. With the div tag, I'll create a box and give it the class name box1. Now, by switching to our CSS file, we can start formatting our box. Width and height values, 150 pixels. Now for border, I will also specify 3 pixels solid blue. And we can look at our page in the browser, and look at that, our box now has a blue border. Now, right-click on our page and say Inspect. Now, when we look at the dimensions of our box, you can see that it's 156 by 156. But didn't we actually determine the width and the height values to be 150 pixels? So it added here 6 pixels border thickness to our box. So the width value was 150 pixels plus 3 pixels plus 3 pixels, and that, of course, equals 156 pixels. So here, 3 pixels were added from the left, or to the left and the right. Likewise, the height value was 156 by adding 3 pixels above and below. Well, here, let's add a padding value, call it 10 pixels. So when we refresh our page and review our box again, we can see the dimensions of our box are now 176 pixels, because 10 pixels to the right and left 10 pixels are added from below and above. Now, I want to add a second box without using the box sizing feature. So by switching back to our HTML file, I'll create a div with a class name of box2. I'll also give the same features, just like our first box in our CSS file. So I'll make the border color red just so that I can see the difference clearly. Now, when we save the changes, we can see the two boxes, and they're the same size. Now, how do we talk about this box sizing feature then? I'll tell you. There are two different features to box sizing. One is content box, and the other is border box. So for box 1, I specified the box sizing as content box. I save the changes and refresh my page, and ta-da, nothing has changed. Wait, what? How can that be? Because this feature is already on by default, and then it'll include our features in that box size. So what happens if we make box sizing a border box in our second box? Now, As we saw before when we looked at the changes, our box shrank because the other features are no longer affecting the size. So our box now only has a width and height value that we specified. Now, I'm going to show you one more point before we finish the lesson here. If we want all the boxes on our page to use the box sizing feature, well, we can. Just by saying Universal Selector, and this is indicated by an asterisk, or a different display, we can use the box sizing border box feature in HTML that contains our entire page. We also use the box sizing inherit feature in the Universal Selector. The inherit property means that it has the same values as the container property, right? So it inherits the same value with HTML. And that's it. We have completed the different features that box sizing gives you. And that, my friends, wraps this up, how to manage your box sizes by using the box sizing feature. So it's goodbye for now, and I want to see you in the next lesson.